Hi, I'm Scott Flowers with Cloud Ninjas. Today we're here to continue our series on the HPE ProLiant DL380 Gen10 Plus. In this video, we're going to specifically focus on drives. Let's get going. Hey, thanks for stopping by today to learn a little bit more about the HPE ProLiant DL380 Gen10 Plus. Do us a favor, if you find anything that helps you in this video, click that like, smash that subscribe. All right, so as we mentioned, this is going to be our drives video. It's going to be a continuation of our series. We've already knocked out CPU and RAM, so if this is the first video you're seeing, hey, check it out. We've got a whole series covering all the commodities for the DL380 Gen10 Plus. So what we're going to do in this video, first off, we're going to go over the different types of chassis. And you might go, well, I thought this was a drive video. Well, the different types of chassis is really important because right after that, then we're going to talk about the compatible interfaces, which will be different per chassis, so that's kind of important. Then we're going to hit the speeds and the sizes that are supported. Then we're going to show you how to physically install these, which is super easy because they're hot swap drives. And then at the very end, we're going to show you two testing tools that we like. The first one is already embedded into this system. It's HP Embedded Diagnostics. And the second one is another tool. It's a standalone tool called HD Sentinel that we're big fans of. We have a storage array that's just set up in our lab where we will throw in drives before we ever install them into servers, just to make sure that the drives are of good quality. We can test the power on hours, the health score, ensure the drives are new, etc., etc. So it's just a little tool that we like, so we'll show you how to use both these. So let's just hop into all the fun stuff. All right, so let's start with the different types of chassis. So there are four types of chassis. So the first chassis that you are going to get is going to be an 8-bay small form factor chassis, and that's going to be tri-mode, so that means it offers SAS, SATA, or NVMe. Now do note with that 8-bay, you do need to make sure you have the proper backplane if you are planning on using NVMe. There's also a 24-bay small form factor chassis that's going to be SAS, SATA, or NVMe, and again, same deal, make sure you have the proper NVMe backplane if you want NVMe. And then there's going to be an 8-bay 3.5-inch or large form factor that's going to be SAS, SATA, or NVMe. They also will support two small form factors in the front, 8 small form factor mid tray or 4 large form factor mid tray as well. So those aren't hot swap technically, those will literally be installed inside your server. And then you can also get 6 small form factor rear option, and if you want, you can have that be NVMe with the proper backplane. So there's a lot of different options there. And then there's also a just pure storage box that's going to be 12 3.5-inch large form factor drives that are going to also have an optional 4 large form factor mid tray and 4 large form factor rear. So those are going to be the heart of your server options for the HPE ProLiant DL380 Gen10 Plus. All right, so now that we've talked a little bit more about the types of chassis, let's talk about the compatible interfaces. So there's really 5 compatible interfaces, and you can make an argument for 7, but there's really 5 compatible interfaces. So first off, on the SSD side, you're going to get SATA, SAS, or NVMe. On the hard drive side, you're going to get SATA or SAS, and technically on the hard drive side you can have a 2.5-inch or a 3.5-inch, which varies for the overall sizes. The speeds will be the same, but those are the types of compatible interfaces. So what we like to do is actually break these down and compare them for you so that you can kind of make some decisions on, hey, what kind of drive should I use, or what's the best option for my application. So let's go ahead and go over some of the speeds and sizes for each of the compatible interfaces. Let's start with the SSDs. So for SATA, you're going to have 6 gigabit per second. For SAS, it's going to be 12. For NVMe, it's going to be a Gen 4 NVMe drive, so it's PCI Gen 4. What that ultimately comes out to on the sizes, you're going to get 7.68, 15.36, and 15.36. We didn't have a ton of time to play around and throw any other drives in that were larger, so it looks like HPE's spec sheet is correct. I wouldn't be surprised though if you threw in some 30 TBs or even some 61 TB SSDs, that they probably would work. And if you have, hey, do us a favor, drop a comment down below. We do these videos to try to help out the community and let them learn new information about different servers. So if you've put in something bigger, hey, that might help someone else. So throw the good karma out there and put some comments down below. All right, so let's talk about the hard drive. So we'll go with the small form factor ones first, which probably hardly anyone's going to be using these, but we'll just knock those out real quick. So small form factor, the speeds are going to be for SATA 7.2K revolution per minute. And keep in mind, a hard drive has a spinning disk, so revolution per minute, literally there's a disk spinning around and around and around and around and around. And then for SAS, it's going to be 7.2K, 10K, or 15K. And just think about this logically. That is a mechanical device. The drive is spinning around and around 15,000 times per minute and running for years. Okay, so over time the ball bearings are just going to naturally wear out. It's a mechanical device, so you should expect that. So if you've had a SAS hard drive in production for 3 to 5 years, you might start worrying a little bit about potential failures, and now might be a good time to go ahead and migrate those over to an SSD. But to each their own, just something I always like to throw out to people to be aware of. Now for the sizes, it's pretty weak, to be honest. You're going to get 2 terabytes and 2.4 terabytes. That's the max that you're going to get, which is one of the reasons I say most people aren't going to use these. Now, if you go to the large form factor hard drives, this is much more common. People still use these all the time even for AI. Like, people think because AI is mainly using solid state drives for quick process and read, they actually use a ton of large form factor drives. If you look right now, Seagate is actually sold out and selling 2029 stock for new high-end, high-capacity drives. So hard drives are actually still heavily in demand, believe it or not. But the large form factors are going to be, the speeds are going to be the same: 7.2K, 7.2K, 10K, and 15K. And then the sizes are going to be 18 terabytes and 20 terabytes, and that's what we have found. I think HP spec sheet shows 18 and 18, but we've played around and put 18 and 20. I wouldn't be surprised if you come and say, drop a comment down below and say, hey, I actually threw in 24 terabyte, or I threw in 26 terabyte. Realistically, it probably works just fine. We didn't have time to play around, but if it does, do us a favor, drop a comment down below and let the other users know. Again, we're just trying to help everybody out. All right, now we've talked enough and learned hopefully something along the way. We're going to go ahead and show you guys how to install the drives, which again is going to be super easy. There's a hot swap, but before we do, I'm going to grab my ESD gear. And actually, one last thing I did want to show you was this is what you would put in for an SSD into a large form factor drive. An SSD for a small form factor would be in a normal tray, but if you are trying to put it into a large form factor system, you can get this carrier or this adapter here that you can throw into the tray and still be able to properly install your 2.5-inch drive. And we do have those on our website, so if you're looking to do some upgrades and you come to our site, you can email our sales team or just go onto the actual website itself, and we will have these available for you to purchase. Now we're going to do our install, and I'm going to grab my ESD gear. Be right back.
Hey, this is Mason with Cloud Ninjas, and today I'll be showing you guys how to install your drives into your HP ProLiant DL380 Gen10 Plus server. Now, as you can see, we have our SSD here, and we'll be using it to replace a hard drive in the first bay. Now, right here is a 3.5-inch hard drive, and if you're looking for this adapter option for your solid state drive to fit into your 3.5-inch tray, you can email us at sales@cloudninjas.com, or whenever you visit our website and select the drive you want, you can select the 3.5-inch HPE Gen10 Plus 11th and 12th tray with the 2.5-inch to 3.5-inch adapter. Now, going back to our server, one key thing to note is that when you press this button, the lever will pop out, allowing you to uninstall your drives from the server. So now we'll go ahead and simply pull the hard drive out. Now we'll go ahead and use the SSD and then slot it into the bay with the lever popped out. Once it goes in all the way, you may go ahead and set that lever back down and secure the drive in place. Now, if the drive ever gets stuck or doesn't go in all the way, all you need to do is press the spring in the corner of the lever, and that will help you get the drive slotted in all the way into the bay. And there you go, you've done it. You've successfully installed your drives into your HP ProLiant DL380 Gen10 Plus server. So now I'll go ahead and show you guys 2 testing tools that we really like. Be right back.
Hey everyone, this is Ben with Cloud Ninjas, and today I'm going to be showing you guys how to test your hard drives and solid state drives for your system. It's pretty easy to do and won't take long at all, and I recommend that you do this to make sure that your drives are in good health. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing we're going to do is power on our server, and during post we want to press F9 so we can enter into System Utilities. Inside of System Utilities we want to go down and select Embedded Applications, and inside of here we want to go down and select Embedded Diagnostics. Now, in this menu, we have a ton of different options, and I recommend that you go exploring them. Specifically, we're going to go down to Component Tests, and in here, as you can see, that there are multiple different options for each of the components for your system. We're going to go ahead and click on the hard drive option, and then we're going to click Regular Test. One neat thing about this is that it will give you an estimated test time. So for this specific test, it'll be 2 to 3 minutes. So once we're ready, we can click on Run Once. If there is an individual drive that you'd like to test, maybe you think that drive is possibly failing and you just want to test one, you can select that specific drive just to test it. But in this video, we're going to do test all hard drives so we can get an overall diagnostics of all the drives in our system. And in doing so is going to start our test. This test will not take long at all. It will take around 10 seconds or so. The more drives you have installed in your system and the more drives that you're testing, the longer that this will take. But we don't have many, so this won't take long at all. And it's as easy as that. That's how you test your hard drives and solid state drives. And like I said earlier, if you're looking at testing any other components, you can do it all in that same menu, whether we want to test your processor, your network card, your memory. It's all in there. Just specifically in this video, we're showing you how to test your drives. Alrighty guys, so I have HD Sentinel pulled up right now, and as you can see, we currently have 2 drives plugged in. We have this installed into a storage array where we like to plug in multiple drives at a time so we can test those drives. HD Sentinel is an awesome tool because you can see things like the power on hours, which is great, especially when you're buying used equipment. You can see how long that drive has been in use. You don't want to be using drives that have been, heavily used, because then you have a higher risk of drive failure. And that's one of the reasons why HD Sentinel is such a cool tool. But as you can see, we can just go ahead and plug a drive into the array and it'll automatically populate within the software. Like I said, lots of information. It'll give you health scores of the drives. As you can see, the 2 we have up top, they have a 100% health score, while the one at the bottom has a 99%. So all pretty good. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them down below. And if you're looking at purchasing any hard drives or solid state drives from us, we got plenty in stock. And if you're interested in any custom server builds, we got plenty of different servers in stock from HP, Dell, and Supermicro, and the list goes on. If you've got a specific configuration that you're looking for, hit us up at sales@cloudninjas.com. That's sales@cloudninjas.com, and we'll be able to help you out. Thanks for stopping by, guys.